You disappointed?
She didn't express her gratitude, at any rate.
With you, she must not be used to failure. The others were pretty surprised, in fact.
Were they?
Some of them think you're not as motivated as you used to be. They think you're tired. They're wrong, aren't they?
I'm not done yet. This body has many long years ahead of it.
Then you'll have to prove to them. Those who are disappointed today will be your enemies tomorrow.
Let them talk.
You didn't tell me what was in those files you gave the prince.
I don't see how that's any of your business.
To make up your own mind about something, the best way is to go to the source. And apparently, Jason Moore is well informed.
I see. You'll have to be patient, Fang.
Do you think that this setback will be an issue for our plans to...
A favor from the prince wouldn't have hurt. But it's not the be-all, end-all in determining your fate. How do you feel about it?
Honestly, I just want to get it over with. Like when you're going into finals.
Even if there's no going back?
It's a little late for that, isn't it?
It is.
Your child, Beryl Underwood, did he have any second thoughts?
I don't want to discuss it.
He's your only child, so I wondered how it went. Well, could you enlighten me?
Beryl is very different from you. He always has been. I was blind. It won't happen again. Beryl would have begged me to get what he wanted. Your patience reassures me. I'm making the right choice with you.
You seem to really have a problem with him.
Yes, and that's why you must stay away from him.
This separation between you, what caused it?
Don't dig too far into it. You know this is something I don't discuss.
That's too bad.
I'm not one to beat around the bush, especially on a matter like this. So either be frank with me, or be silent.
I'm sorry, it's just that it's not easy for me.
I'm listening.
Beryl asked me to come by and see him.
Did you?
I didn't think anything bad could happen. I actually thought that...
You ignored what I told you. Don't ever do that again. What did he want with you?
Nothing in particular. He wanted to get to know me. He told me about Seattle, the Camarilla. He was just being nice, that's all.
Beryl isn't nice. He's dangerous. I'm going to have a word with him.
But...
Wait here.
Just one more, and then you can go rest.
All right. Thanks, Ms. Ortiz.
A message from Caius. Need you downstairs. Urgent issue. Bad timing. I'm going to have to choose. Help Caius, or speak with Beryl.
Caleb, you don't come here often. Sorry, things are a little hectic here, as you can see.
What's going on?
Code Red. We're destroying all of our files, following protocol.
You're destroying all our files?
No, not everything. Obviously. Some information needs to be saved. The rest will be a treasure trove for anyone who wants to harm us. That's what's got to disappear. It's a huge undertaking. And of course, Hazel's putting major pressure on me. I think she holds me responsible for what happened with Journey. That little bitch got me in trouble.
What's happening isn't your fault. She should provide help.
You would think Hazel would know she can trust me with anything. Without question. She has even more urgent issues to attend to.
You can't do everything on your own.
That's why I'm asking for more resources. How about you? Is everything all right?
After last night, who could say that?
I mean, you know, your condition.
My condition?
You know, you're the eldest among us now.
It almost sounds like you don't trust me.
I'm worried. You'll leave like all of those before you. And you'll screw up everything. With the SI hunting us down, we need to know who we can rely on.
And I'm unreliable?
You tell me.
What does Hazel think?
She trusts you.
So, you would be well advised to follow her lead.
I prefer to think for myself. I was wondering, what is it like? Do you hear voices? Does it come at you all at once?
You're young. You'll see when the time comes. But you won't be able to do much about it.
If you can resist, I can resist too.
If you say so.
Listen to us. Talking about growing old, like mortals do.
What's wrong?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's just the Second Inquisition attack. You're the only person here who doesn't seem fazed by it. London seems so far away. Now they're here. They're destroying the people we know. I really need to get back to work.
Good luck.
We're not moving fast enough. What a night.
Any news here?
Everyone is stressed out. I've never seen anything like it. They're all talking in hushed voices. They barely dare to look at each other.
People and their moods. I'm not interested in that.
I saw them take one of Jason Moore's bodyguards below. To question him, I imagine. That could be of interest to you. Say, how are things with the girl?
Excuse me.
It's Zhu Feng, right?
She's not a girl.
Things going okay?
Yes, things are fine.
She seems worried.
Don't worry about her.
Do you think you'll embrace her soon?
As soon as possible, once the prince gives me permission.
You met Fang at MIT, didn't you?
Yes, I went to see her.
How did that go?
I told her I was the CEO of a company that wanted to take sustainability seriously.
Smart.
She didn't reject the idea. She took it as a challenge. I liked that about her. She did everything she could to bring about a real change in me. She would be an incredible asset for the Kindred.
I've never embraced anyone.
I'd better be going.
See you.
Come back soon.
We're waiting for Mr. Leto's signal. Until then, if you have any questions, save them. Got it?
No problem.
I want to report on his activities pronto. I don't like the sound of that at all.
Blood tests from the Red Salon. She always said she preferred paper to digital. You wanted to see me?
Happy to see you, Caleb. We don't usually let anybody down here, but I can bend the rules for you.
To what do I owe this honor?
I need you. Something's come up. On the night of the attack, someone sent a message to an unauthorized recipient.
Is that a problem?
Could be a major one. Not a lot of people can do that, you know.
Who could have done that?
That's precisely the question I want you to answer. Caleb, I need your help. I get the feeling that it's all connected. It's too huge to be a coincidence.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Jara Drory.
It's easy to accuse someone who's not here to defend herself.
Yes, and I might have it all wrong. But I wouldn't accuse her unless I had serious doubts. Think it through carefully. For starters, she's one of the few who knows how the system works.
She'd be able to cover her tracks, wouldn't she?
Maybe. But maybe she made a mistake.
I don't know. Jara has most likely been destroyed by now.
Do you have any evidence supporting what you're suggesting? Anyways, nothing concrete. Just a hunch, if you want to call it that. In my place, under the current circumstances, I can't really go poking my nose in her business.
And I can.
Nobody will bother you. I'm not asking for much. Just take a look in Jara's room to see if you can find anything that ties her to any of this. And if you could do it quickly.
Why?
Because I'm about to erase a ton of data. It's the Code Red protocol. And since Jara vanished, the Prince wants her personal data to disappear along with her. That doesn't give us much time. You in?
I could maybe go and take a look around.
Great. I found a key to her room. Take it.
Thanks.
It's our last chance to recover the data from Jara Drory's computer before everything disappears for good. Just insert this thumb drive and it will download everything I need. If she betrayed us, I'll know.
Fine. I'll go see what I can find.
Thanks. One last thing.
Uh-huh.
If you could keep this just between you and me.
Fine.
And don't come back to see me here. It's supposed to be sealed. It'll look suspicious. I'll send in an engineer after you. Give him the drive when you're done, but don't tell him anything. We have to keep this between us.
As you wish.
Weren't you the one who was doing surveillance on the Roxbury bunch?
No, doesn't ring a bell.
You are right.
We're going to wipe this server soon.
Mr. Bazori, it's a pleasure to have you back here. If you ask me, there's not much more you'll be able to get out of this retainer besides blood. But go ahead.
James, isn't it? Jason Moore's bodyguard.
Yes, Mr. Bazori.
I've got some questions for you.
I've already answered so many questions.
Do you know what's going to happen next?
I have no idea. Nobody's telling me anything. Do you know?
The prince will determine your fate when she has time.
I'm not a high priority, am I?
I wouldn't be in a hurry if I were you.
I could still be useful to the Camarilla. Please.
I'm not the one who needs to hear it. You weren't with Moore yesterday. You went against standing orders.
No, he sent me to his office.
Why?
I was supposed to pick up some files. He was being really weird, like he was stalling for time.
You were supposed to bring him here, weren't you?
Yeah, but he said he had to get some documents from his place, and then he sent me to his office. At the time, I didn't think too much of it, but looking back on it, he was really doing everything he could not to leave with us.
You should have been more attentive. What happened once you got to his office?
I had a hard time finding what he wanted. He wasn't very clear about where I'd be able to find some specific invoices.
You lost precious time. You weren't his handservant.
When I came back, the police had the whole place roped off, so I came straight here. And since then, I've done nothing but answer questions and wait.
How naive. Moore was at the party. So were you.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about it.
You don't really have a choice.
Like I told the others, I don't really remember precisely what happened. It's all a blur. It happened so fast, and they almost got us. They came from all sides, and there was a stench of burned flesh and gunpowder. I'd seen a lot of things before, but that, it was unbearable. I don't know how we made it out. I don't know.
Nothing before that.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I must leave you.
I get the feeling I'll be staying here a long time. I'm no use to anyone here. If there's another attack, I don't know how we'll survive.
Now's not the time for mistakes. We're going to wipe this server soon.
There you are.
I don't get the feeling our
Follow me,
interrogations are
please.
getting
We'll
anywhere.
speak in private.
I think we should bleed them a little before we question them. We're too easy on them.
Caleb, our secret agent is back already.
It's locked from the inside. I've seen princes come and go. In the end...
Caleb, I was wondering when I'd run into you.
Victoria, what a surprise. I didn't know you had decided to walk among us.
I'm always where you'd least expect me. It feels like I've been away for ages. Boston has changed so much. The only thing that hasn't changed is your steadfast presence at court.
Is that a problem?
You know it's not. I'm just surprised, that's all. There's a whole world outside this city, you know?
What I do with my unlife is my own business. I spend my years as I see fit.
Of course! I didn't mean to offend you. Iversen is lucky she can count on your loyalty. You're a valuable resource, Caleb. Especially in times like these.
I'm only doing my duty.
Ever the cheerful one.
I hadn't heard you were coming to Boston.
Indeed. I wouldn't be stuck in this tower if I hadn't gotten wind of your arrangement with Hartford.
Well, isn't that a shame?
It's not been a complete waste. I met your prince, and I got to see a few old friends. I just hope it's not at the cost of my unlife.
You don't seem to be hurt. I take it you weren't at the party last night.
Heavens no. I was in your prince's personal suite. We hadn't even left yet when the Code Red was initiated.
Good timing.
Good timing indeed. When I think that the Second Inquisition's butchers were lying in wait, I'd shiver. If I could.
So many elders are gone, and yet, here you are. How is it possible?
Because I want to. That's all. I enjoy my existence. Why give it up?
But you must also feel that force. The insistent calling, night after night.
Yes, but unlike so many others, I have a reason to resist. Don't you?
Not anymore. I've resisted for too long already.
And yet, here you are.
I'll leave once this crisis is over.
Aren't you afraid of the unknown? You know what you're giving up, but not what you're getting in return.
It's not a game.
You didn't answer my question.
You'll have to make do with that.
I remember your sire, Jean-Baptiste Tavernier, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct.
I didn't see him at court. I remember he was very popular back in the day.
He left with all the others.
Oh. I know the two of you were very close. His absence must have left quite the void.
The first few years were hard. I had a lot of respect for the man. His departure was like a betrayal to me. He left me alone, in charge of a city without a prince, surrounded by neonates. It was unfair.
I understand. You deserve better than that.
Not just me. The whole court fell apart when the Ancilli disappeared one by one. Building it back up was an ordeal.
But you did it, and you should be proud of what you've accomplished.
Pride is for the ambitious. I'm just doing my duty.
As always.
My obligations to Hazel kept me away from the court last night. Did I miss anything important?
No, nothing much. I ran into Burrell. He was with your charming little protege.
I don't like the sound of that. Did you hear their conversation?
That would have been very impolite of me.
Good evening.
Goodbye, Caleb.
The First Inquisition. The first time our supremacy was challenged. A peace agreement that put an end to a bloody revolt. Ancilla against neonates. Camarilla against anarchs. Let's see if Caius was right. Jara always was old-fashioned. Whatever's in this box must be important. Jara was conducting her own investigation. There is no way Caius would be expecting that. It appears Caius was wrong. He and Jara may have been looking for the same individual. Jara has always been wary of new technology.
That'll do.
Meeting Terrell. For those who are...
Now she's sending you.
Run into some trouble with the prince?
That's a question to ask Hazel. She's the one who doesn't know what she wants.
You seem unusually tense. Are you sure she's the problem?
Obviously, the whole situation is a nightmare, but Hazel's not helping. She's obviously overwhelmed, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. I don't know how you still put up with her.
You owe your place in the Primogen to her.
What, you think I don't know that? I've always done my best to keep her from screwing things up. But when she reached out to Hartford...
Hartford is a key part of her plan.
We can't count on Hartford. There are other chantries, other kindred who could help us. After what happened last night, I'm not sure you realize just how deep the shit we are in goes.
And I suppose you have the solution?
Maybe. Not that I'm happy about it. There's interesting stuff going on in other places. Boston's not the center of the universe.
We don't know who can be trusted. This is no time to leave. If the prince has kept you in the dark, she must have had a good reason for it. Just look at what happened.
Open your eyes, Caleb! The Boston Camarilla is crumbling before our eyes! What are the odds we survive?
They're not good, I'll grant you that. It might be too late for Boston.
You know what it's like! To feel called to be elsewhere.
That has nothing to do with this. Salem isn't elsewhere. You won't be any safer there.
It's just a starting point. We thaumaturgs will find a way to deal with it.
I see that you've planned for everything.
I've already lost too much time. You shouldn't waste your time either.
If you leave, Hazel will catch up with you.
What do you mean?
You know, she doesn't like people who have been disloyal, especially now.
Hazel doesn't need new enemies. She should be wary.
Be careful.
Goodbye, Caleb.
The soldier is on furlough.
Not for long, I'm afraid. The prince will undoubtedly have some new task for me.
At least she trusts you. She hardly speaks to her primogen. Even Beryl is in the dark.
He's not used to that. It'll be good for him. I heard you were doing business with him.
It's something to do with the Rosemont Society, my foundation. Why?
Now is not the time to be hiding things, given the circumstances. If the prince were to hear about shady business dealings, heads would roll.
I get the feeling that no matter what we do, the prince is suspicious of everyone these days. At any rate, I have better things to do than stay here and be interrogated. All I can tell you is that Beryl's really the one who is in charge of it. Are you still not talking?
You could say that.
Any regrets?
I don't see why I would have any regrets.
That's no surprise. Personally, I find that giving a child so much power is dangerous. The problem is that you have to watch them all the time, otherwise they end up making a mess of things.
But trying to influence them is pointless.
You must be subtle about it, that's all. I give Mem just enough freedom so that she doesn't completely hate me. But I know exactly how to make her do whatever I want. Do you really think you'll have time to embrace Fang?
What do you mean?
Well, with all the elders gone, who knows who'll be next?
That's not something I'm willing to discuss with you.
Suit yourself.
No, excuse me, I have to go.
Of course.
Mr. Bazori, your child left a few minutes ago.
Locked? Beryl must be out. I'll have to talk to him another time.
The prince will see you shortly. I'll send someone for you.
There's no point in hanging around here bothering me. It's gonna take me a while.
Very well, Mr. Sheridan. Please excuse me.
I'm gonna go get a drink soon.
I've got cramps. I'm so tired.
Oh, I hope there won't be another attack.
Emergencies are piling up.
Journey's sire, I believe, went east, as did mine.
It's like we spent all these years working for nothing. I'm sorry, I really don't have time right now.
A rose,
Only Hazel would listen.
of course. Divas sure love their theatrics.
If we don't work faster, Hazel's gonna freak out.
Where is Feng?
Is there a problem, Mr. Bazori?
Feng, did you see her leave?
No.
I asked her to wait for me. Feng held this magazine. Strange.
It was a pleasure to see you again.
That should take less than a minute. I hope Caius will be able to use what's on this thumb drive. I think that's everything. Now it's Caius's turn.
Hello, Mr. Bazori. Mr. Leto asked me to wait until you were done. He also told me you'd have something for me.
Here it is. Give it to him, and him alone.
And don't ask any questions. I get it. Are you done here?
You may proceed.
Thanks.
I hope Caius knows what he's doing. Hazel is probably ready to see me now. I won't make her wait.
The prince is ready to see you now.
Great.
Caleb.
My prince.
We were expecting you.
How may I be of service to you this time?
One thing at a time. The situation has changed. The money is gone. The accounts have been emptied.
What? That's impossible.
Only Jason Moore could have transferred the money. The situation is dire.
Moore would never have done it on his own. He would never have dared.
I agree. It's much too bold a move for him. And that's what concerns me the most. Someone used him to attack us. Someone who was extremely well prepared.
It might be one of our own.
That's what I think. It's the most plausible explanation.
If there's a traitor among us, I'll have their head.
One thing at a time. I'll take care of the traitor, personally. Failure is a luxury we will soon be unable to afford. If you have nothing more to say, we can move on to the reason I sent for you.
Did you read Jaradori's file?
I wish I'd never seen it.
There's too much I despise in it.
She never mentioned she was monitoring the Primogen's finances.
But she's not here to shed any light on it. I'm listening.
I've asked for your presence here because I have a new mission for you. Delsin was able to track down the men who attacked us.
It wasn't easy, but it was impossible for them to disappear without leaving a trace after what they did yesterday.
Where are they hiding?
Long Island.
Yes, of course. An abandoned facility just off the coast. An old fort. It's the ideal place for a secret base.
And certainly much more. Who knows what they're up to out there?
How is it we didn't notice a thing?
They have abundant resources, and we're short on eyes.
It doesn't matter. We'll find the people responsible for the situation later. Our most pressing issue is preventing them from striking us again.
How?
You're going to go there and kill their leader.
Sending me there. That seems to be a rather bold choice.
I don't see anyone better for the job.
Infiltration isn't really my specialty.
You'll be dealing with Kine. You'll be a fox in a henhouse. I'm not worried about you. And Delsin knows how to get you in.
Oh, that changes everything.
They evacuated the bodies from the site of the party, which is how we were able to pick up their trail.
There's a small, nondescript warehouse at Jeffrey's Point. As far as we can tell, their transfers from Boston to Long Island are made by boat. To avoid drawing attention to themselves, they've chosen to employ only small craft. There are bodies packed in the warehouse waiting to be shipped over. Do you get the picture?
You want me to disguise myself as a body to be evacuated?
Exactly.
All you have to do is stop simulating your vital functions for a few hours.
It's risky.
It's risky, but it's now or never. We might never get another opportunity. We have to try.
The last transfer is probably going to take place tonight. After that, there's no way of knowing when we'll get another chance.
I need to know the details.
Let us worry about getting you into the warehouse. We've made all the preparations. You won't have to worry about a thing until you get to Long Island.
We know where they are. Why go through their warehouse?
Charging into Long Island blind would be far too risky.
And with a traitor in our midst, I'd rather keep this to a small circle of trusted people, to avoid any other unpleasant surprises.
And after that?
Once you're on the island, you'll be in uncharted territory. You'll be on your own.
Who is my target?
Walter Stanford.
He's the head of the Boston Task Force. He's part of what they call the Society of Leopold.
Someone else will take his place.
No need for you to worry about that for the time being. Your mission is to eliminate Stanford, and that's all.
Aren't you worried someone will tip off the SI? There's still a traitor among us.
The traitors, my department. You need to strike quickly, and don't let anyone know of your plans. We can't take the slightest risk.
What do we know about this Stanford?
Not much. They're very careful. He was sent from the Vatican, and he brought other fanatics with him. If he's here, it means that Rome has faith in him, and that can't be good for us.
He's got to be taken out.
What's the Vatican getting out of all this?
Your guess is as good as mine. But it seems that the kind are trying to get a better understanding of us in order to hunt us more effectively. These priests have been our enemies for ages. They have knowledge.
Putting an end to them is crucial. We must keep our enemies from unifying their strength.
I don't wish to be the bearer of ill tidings, but what if I fail? Do you have a backup plan?
Caleb, you won't fail. You're our only hope. We place all our trust in you to complete this essential mission.
There's no room for error, Bazori.
All right. I've heard enough.
Very well. Then you should get going. We've already lost enough time.
Very well. My prince,